Nicolas Jackson scout report? Oh, go on then. I'm dressed for it, aren't I? We may as well. Nicolas Jackson certainly started to divide opinion amongst Chelsea fans. Some say that his first season in the Premier League was a success, scoring 14 goals, providing 5 assists. But some say because of the 24 missed chances, they could improve in that aspect. So let's quickly get the elephant out of the room. Yes, Nicolas Jackson does miss a lot of chances. In fact, very, very good chances. And the frustration with Chelsea fans is when he does miss a chance, it's not always guaranteed that he's going to score his next one. Complacency, lack of composure, and a bit of bad luck have all played its part in Nicolas Jackson's first season in the Premier League. I'm not going to sit here and tell you otherwise because the consistency in his goal scoring hasn't really been there despite scoring 14 goals, which I do think is a good return for your first season in the Premier League. In fact, he's actually in the minus section for his expected goals. He's missing his expected goal target by 4.6, which is in fact the 4th worst in the Premier League out of all the strikers. However, despite all this, I'm here today to make an argument that there is potentially an unreal striker in there. And welcome back to my channel, guys. If you don't know me, my name's Antonio Mango. And yes, I'm not just making that name up for shits and giggles. It is actually my name. So make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, because I'm here to give you the best scout reports on all the best upcoming talents. So as I mentioned, we are going to be profiling Nicolas Jackson. So just very quickly, he did break out at Villarreal. He was close to a move to Bournemouth, which fell through, and then Chelsea signed the striker. He's hit 14 goals, provided 5 assists in his first season in the Premier League. And I just want to go on record and say, double figures in your first season in the Premier League is very respectable. Now, I know you're going to throw it as, well, he does miss a lot of chances, but I'm going to throw it back at you. Which striker does not miss chances? Jackson is a Senegalese striker that stands at 6'2". In normal circumstances, you would see him as a strong target man. However, he boasts much wider tool set than his physique suggests. He's got long limbs, he's agile, he's got pace to burn, and he's exceptional with his movement. In terms of link-up play, Jackson's actually got it all. He's quick and makes decisive runs in behind, he uses space tremendously well, but he's also fantastic with the ball at his feet, and he's not afraid to stand players up in a one-on-one situation. As you can see from his heat map, he covers a large amount of the final third. Now, for all the missed chances that Jackson might have, I would argue a case that Chelsea won't create enough chances without him in the side. His movement drags the opposition out of their position. His link-up play brings teammates into the game. And his movement also creates space for his teammates to be more ambitious in their runs. There's a strong argument that Nicolas Jackson's biggest and most underrated strength is his timing for space. He's a master at anticipating space and patterns of play to arrive to hurt the opposition. He's a striker that drifts out of the wings or drift beyond the forward line. He is the wide forward who moves between the lines, but he's also the centre forward who selfishly withdraws to create space for midfield runners. He shows great versatility in his movements. He can run in behind to attack the opposition, or he can spin in behind using double movements. There's two types of strikers when it comes to movements. There's one like Jamie Vardy who manipulates the marker, or there's one like Romelu Lukaku who finds suitable space to receive from which he can shoot from. Nicolas Jackson has a mixture of the two. What I love about Nicolas Jackson is his double movements. He's able to spin in behind after initially dropping in short to connect with the midfield. He does this by using quick bounce passes. This just highlights his spatial awareness. His ability to bring others into play is exceptional. Now, when he comes to link-up play, he's exceptional at curving his movements towards the ball. And then he quickly spins to continue his run, facing forward to exploit any space in behind. The reason why this is so effective because his marker will follow him, initially dropping in with his initial movement, and that creates space in behind for Jackson to exploit. Jackson astutely identifies and exploits space due to his crafty movement. He's so good at gaining separation from markers using zigzags, stop and goes, and holding up his runs, while excelling when instinctively targeting gaps between markers and exploiting space on defenders' blind side. Jackson's constantly on the prowl for new and unexpected spaces. He's always on the move and has a tendency to jump into different areas of the final third, pulling the opposition out of their shape. This allows the likes of Cole Palmer, new to be Pedro Neto, to exploit space in behind. It also means that the opposition have to always be on alert and they cannot allow him to move freely. Because once they lose sight of him is the moment he strikes, and by making quick and penetrative runs. The reason why it's so effective because Jackson's exceptional at stretching the play vertically, occupying the centre backs and maximising space for teammates to build up play. Because of his exceptional pace, Jackson will spin off defenders to run deep when his midfielders are able to get on the ball and turn. This just instantly causes chaos to the opposition, and the speed in which he moves causes defenders real problems. Nicolas Jackson's fast, agile, and aware of space. His runs in behind, down the channels, or in transition phases do a great job in stretching the opposition backlines horizontally and vertically. This just ultimately opens space for midfield runners. So effectively, his movement off the ball, specifically in the final third and the middle third, constantly create for himself and his teammates. Usually he's likely to start in central areas before pulling into the half spaces or just slightly out wide to receive the ball. This naturally opens up a lot of space centrally. Despite his ability to vertically run in behind and just cause chaos to the opposition, Nicolas Jackson always tries to make things happen, and he offers himself as an outlet when he comes to collect the ball as well. His ability to come short, collect the ball and run through the thirds is absolutely exceptional, and it gives Chelsea another dimension to play through the lines. I'd go as far as saying his ability outside the box is becoming world class. Now he just needs to transition that to inside the box, and you've got one of the most complete strikers in the Premier League. He's athletically powerful, and he certainly provides his worth when dropping deep to collect the ball with his back to goal. Strength and ability to use his arms to hold off opponents and become very press resistant allows him to connect with midfielders. And we'll certainly say this, and he's got the intelligence and the technical qualities to bring others into play on his first touch. Just look at those glorious back heels, just bringing others into space. Not many players in the Premier League have this sort of awareness and technical outlet. It's just another string to the bow that Nicolas Jackson brings to his Chelsea team. It allows him to be fluid in attack from deep. It's also worth noting that he's a target for long balls as well. This just bypasses the opposition press quickly and more efficiently. Now, this is where I think Nicolas Jackson's at his best. This is where he's a true handful for the opposition teams, because he has the ability to generate chances when left alone or isolated up front. He's got incredible pace and acceleration to lose his man, but he's also got the composure and the technical ability to beat his opponents in one-on-one situations. He's able to come short, create separation from his marker, collect the ball, turn, and beat them in a one-on-one, or he's able to run in behind and use his pace to latch onto a through ball. His off-ball movement is sensational. When Nicolas Jackson's not offering penetrative threats, his play between the lines is more linked to threatening through dribbles and ball carrying forwards. His best work is done when drawing defenders out of their back line through his dribbling technique before releasing the ball to a teammate and re-receiving it. Now, before we get into his dribbling technique, one thing I will say is when facing multiple opponents or a stronger defensive block ahead of him, his control can usually sometimes suffer. He's got to do multiple changes of directions are required in such a short space of time. Finds it harder to use his body to manipulate the defender through feints and drop of the shoulders. He offers much more of a stronger threat when he only needs to push the ball past an opponent in one direction before he accelerates away. And this is why separation becomes handy, because when he's able to separate and isolate one defender, this is when he can use that, move the ball either side and accelerate away instead of trying to work his way out of tight spaces. However, once he gets into stride, he's extremely unpredictable to read on the dribbling because he's extremely quick. But he's really got a languid and awkward style in his ball carrying, but it really elevates his threat somehow. But he's a formidable force when he's got oceans of space to move into. But his dribbling's all about manipulating and isolating his defenders. He's able to preempt the movement of the challenger. He's got long limbs, which causes defenders to be wrong-footed. He makes rapid movements with his legs, changing direction, doing step overs, until he senses an off-balance in the defender. Now he's created that angle to move away. But this is not a planned dribble. This is from raw instincts. But the beauty about Nicolas Jackson, he can go two ways. He can go on the inside and the outside. And this allows him to effectively make runs in the right half space and the left half space. When he's looking to create chances, his natural instincts are go on the outside where he can use his long strides and pace to get past the defender. And then when the defender gets close to them, he entices them with shorter touches before utilising his long strides to move into the space he's just created. It's quite beautiful artwork, really. But Jackson's extremely effective when he's running with the ball at his feet because he's got the ability and the awareness to bring others into play. His distribution is very admirable. He can link up play very well. He spreads the angles of attacks very well. He obliges runners with tidy through balls very well. And he can go on the outside and look for crosses or cutbacks for his teammates. Now, let's look at why he does miss chances. Well, firstly, I think he positions himself quite well. And I say quite because I do want to make a few tweaks on his positioning. But if you look at his heat map inside the box, he's normally quite central. He likes to stay between the two goalposts. The reason he does this is so he can stay in between the two centre-backs. So he can be on the blind side of one centre-back, but in front of another. So if the ball does come in, he's going to get to the ball first. I don't mind that positioning. However, I do think his positioning's too static. Now, I've seen a lot of comparisons to Didier Drogba, and one thing that Didier Drogba was exceptional at is attacking the ball with aggression and pace. The sheer determination that Drogba had on his leaps, on when crosses come in, and the way he attacked the ball just caused the problems to the defender enormously. Jackson needs to bring this into his game. He needs to hold off his run just those fraction seconds. Allow the ball to come in and then attack with it with aggression. And this leads perfectly into my next point. Jackson is an instinctive striker. It looks like when he's instinctive, he's more clinical. When he's got time to think about it, this is where he hinders and makes the wrong decision. Now, Nicolas Jackson's exceptional disguising his runs and moving into space. The timing in which he moves is very impressive. Now, because he does have that extra touch of pace, it's particularly advantageous to him. This allows him to get half the yard of space ahead of the defender in the right moment. And this is why I think he'll work best off instincts. If you look at these goal complexions, these tap-ins or instinctive finish have become the hallmark of his game. And then if you look at when he's trying to do everything on his own, he loses a step or two and sometimes runs into trouble or misplaces his shots. Nicolas Jackson scores a large proportion of his goals inside the box, and the reason for that is because he's exceptional at his movement and his timing. However, where he does fall short, it's the conviction in his strikes. A lot of the time he's leaning back and off balanced. He needs to get his head over the ball more and shoot with more venom. We've often seen it with the likes of Didier Drogba, Harry Kane. They've got a lot of conviction in the strikes. They believe they're going to score. And if they're not going to score, they want to work the goalkeeper. Whereas Jackson has almost a languished style, almost like he just wants to hit the target. It all comes down to confidence. He needs to believe that he's going to score every time he strikes a ball. Head over the ball, more power, more control in his shots, and the goals will come. The movement and the timing, keep on doing that because he's doing the right thing. Now, another topic where Jackson's at his best is when he's working down the line and dancing his way stride for stride against a one-on-one defender. When he uses the range of the 18-yard box to cut inside before having a shot at goal. Now, why is this beneficial? Because this allows his immense dribbling technique and perceive for space, allowing him to create opportunities or better opportunities for himself inside the box. This just gives Chelsea another outlet to score goals because he's not waiting for the chance to come. He can create a chance for himself. This is such an asset to have because his clever bit of skill in one-on-one dribblings allow him to carve out vast pockets of space to beat the goalkeeper. So he gets into good positions. He just needs to find that confidence and composure to score. But I always say I'd rather my striker get into good positions and miss than not get in positions at all, because the more you do it, the more the goals will come. And then lastly, I want to touch on his decision making. It can improve inside the final third. His decision making is far better when he's further from goal. When he's closer to goal, he tends to have a strike when there's a pass available, or he tends to pass when he could shoot. In games that are defined by such small margins, decisions like that can be the turning point from winning a game to losing a game. My advice to Jackson would be still get into those good positions that you do. Keep creating separation from your markers that you do, but allow yourself those extra 5 to 2 yards just to attack the ball with pace. Jackson's brilliant at taking extra touches inside the penalty area to set himself for a strike, but he just needs to harness that power to ensure he does it at the right time rather than placing the power back to the opposition. But to me, it's clear that Chelsea have a brilliant striker on their hands, the one that will likely finish this season in double figures again. Nicolas Jackson's a type of striker that Chelsea haven't had up front for a while. In 14 goals in his first season in the Premier League, Nicolas Jackson's rise to stardom can only go up from here. There we go, guys. There's the end of the episode, and I hope you've enjoyed this episode. And if you have, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you've got any recommendations for another episode, drop them in the comments. Once again, I just want to say I appreciate your time. Thank you very much.